Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today, we're going to be talking about HYLIION Stock. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investing journey together. So today, we're going to be talking about HYLIION Stock. And basically what HYLIION does, they produce electrified vehicle powertrains for large battery-powered semi-trucks. As you guys know, the EV market is starting to grow like crazy, getting a lot of rampant demand lately, and a lot of people are starting to get really bullish about the whole EV market in itself, especially with HYLIION and Tesla, and all these companies are actually rolling into the battery-powered truck industry. It's going to be a huge industry because companies are going to be saving a lot of money from this. As you guys know, you drive every single day. You get to see that there's large semi-trucks everywhere that are delivering products and goods to other places. So I know that once these stocks start producing these battery-powered trucks and they get things on the road, I know that these stocks are going to be making a lot of money. But we're going to analyze the one-year chart of HYLIION Stock. This thing IPO'd April 22nd of 2020. Fairly new company. If you guys didn't know, HYLIION was actually known as Tortoise Acquisition. Tortoise Acquisition and HYLIION actually did a merger, and the merger actually just got approved at the end of September, on September 28th. And within recent, the ticker tag got changed to HYLN, or better known as HYLIION. But fairly new company coming out of the game. Looking at the 3-month chart, it's pretty okay. It's up 11%, but I think a lot of people are wondering more about the 1-week chart and why HYLIION stock has actually been sinking the last couple of weeks. My personal opinion on why HYLIION stock has actually been sinking is probably just due to the fact that a lot of people came to the realization that it was more of a buy the hype, sell the news kind of situation, and it's a very popular stock trading option that people like to do. Usually people don't like to hold through things. People will basically buy the hype and then, they let the stock ride up and then they sell it off. And that probably led to the recent decline of HYLIION stock, because over the past week, it is down 31%. And it's leading a lot of people to speculate, is HYLIION a good investment? Me personally, I think HYLIION is an amazing investment. And the reason it is because although the stock currently right now is not doing that well, you have to understand that the long-term vision of HYLIION stock is going to be netting HYLIION stock a lot of money. You have to understand that the market that HYLIION is currently saturated in is the large EV, basically battery-powered truck industry, right? It's a very untapped market. It's very new, and you have to understand that when HYLIION actually sets itself on the road, starts producing these trucks, starts getting everything going, that this stock is going to be blowing up like crazy. I don't expect companies to actually just get things going right away. Even with the whole Workhorse and USPS situation, it's taking time for USPS and Workhorse to actually work out the deal. And the reason that is because it takes time to actually get things on the road. It takes time to work out the kinks and sign contracts and stuff like that. With HYLIION stock, you have to understand that the long-term vision of HYLIION is a very good vision. And you have to understand that they are going to have a place in the market. The EV market just started gaining a lot of traction, and it still has a lot of room to grow. As you guys know, Tesla, founded in 2003, did not see a lot of profit at first. A lot of people thought that Tesla was going to go under. A lot of people thought Tesla was going to go bankrupt. But look where it sits now. It had last 4 profitable quarters. It's rolling out and beating its delivery estimates like crazy. Their profits are always out of the roof. And the company has grown to be a $404 billion market cap. But the thing is, my point that I'm trying to get across is it didn't do that overnight. And it's going to be the same with HYLIION stock. I honestly think that people should buy the dip on HYLIION stock. Obviously, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion, but I understand that the 1-week chart doesn't really look too well because it's down 31% and down $13. I know people who bought the stock at $40 are probably saying, like, I shouldn't have invested in HYLIION stock. This was the worst investment ever. But the thing is, when I'm investing in a company, I'm looking at the long-term vision of the company. And I see the long-term vision by HYLIION. It's run by a good CEO, and the company just basically started. So you have to give the company some time to actually get itself going on the road, build its trucks, and show the world what it's got. But I know that a lot of analysts are bullish on the whole EV industry, and I know that the EV industry in itself is going to be expanding a lot more over the next 5 to 10 years. I want people to take in consideration when they're investing, you have to be looking at where's the stock going to be 5 to 10 years from now. With HYLIION's situation, I'm buying as much as I can because I know that HYLIION stock is going to be doing very well in the future. Like I said, the EV market just started to grow. A lot of big time investors behind the EV market. And the cool thing about the whole EV market in itself, it's probably one of the industries that's not taking too much of a hit from the pandemic. You guys have to understand, when it comes to a lot of companies right now, whether it be airlines, cruises, and all these companies, they're either going bankrupt, on the verge of bankruptcy, or they need severe bailout. Look at airlines, for example. They're basically waiting on this stimulus to help them out. But with the EV market, it continues to grow. Tesla's still putting up profitable quarters, and a lot of EV companies are doing well, despite the fact that we're in a pandemic and no one even really knows where the market's going to be headed in the next year. But I think people are seeing the long-term vision of the EV market, saying after the pandemic blows over, after everything goes back to normal, the EV market is going to be a huge industry. And like I said, this is where HYLIION comes in. The large battery-powered pickup truck industry is still a relatively new market. It hasn't really been tapped into yet. Tesla just rolled into it. You have Workhorse stock. I don't even care about Nikola Motors. But you also have HYLIION stock, who's going to play a dominant role in this market. You have to understand that soon enough, once the demand picks up and once companies start basically doing as good as they once were before the pandemic, that HYLIION and all these other EV companies are going to be getting a lot of attention, being able to save companies millions and millions of dollars by rolling out battery-powered trucks that not only require less maintenance, but they don't have to pay gas. And they're going to be contracting out these vehicles, kind of similar to what Workhorse is talking about with USPS. The main side of that deal is so USPS can save money on the maintenance costs and the gas costs that drivers have to pay every single day delivering people's mail. But with HYLIION, the whole idea of HYLIION in itself is still a very good idea. It's still an EV company, and I know that there's going to be a lot more EV companies that are going to be IPOing over the next couple of years just because of the rampant demand that the EV industry is starting to see, and the market is starting to mature and the demand is there. So I know that HYLIION stock in itself is going to be very successful, despite it being down 13% in 1 week. I think people should buy the dip on HYLIION stock. I think it is worth the investment. Maybe it might not go up next week, or maybe it might not go up next month, but I do know for a fact that within the next 5 to 10 years that HYLIION stock is going to be doing very, very well. As an investor, you should be looking at where stocks are going to be doing in the long term. But with that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of HYLIION stock. Do you think HYLIION stock is worth the investment? Are you guys disappointed with HYLIION crashing recently? Are you guys going to buy the dip on HYLIION stock? Very curious to hear your thoughts, guys. With that being said, thank you. Have a great day.